Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's NCAA Division III volleyball action as the Baldwin Wallace women's volleyball team plays host to the College of Wooster Fighting Scots in this non-conference matchup. Coming in, BW sports a 5-8 overall record. They're 2-2 on the home deck here at Ursprung Gymnasium. The College of Wooster at 3-9. They are just 0-1 in true road matches. The bulk of their matches have come via neutral site affairs, and they are 1-6 in those affairs. Leading the way for the College of Wooster from an attack standpoint with 57 kills on the season is Jordan Laraway. She hits at a 162 percentage, just 25 errors in 197 total attacks. The leader in sets, Erin Ellis with 147, and right behind her, Kennedy Muhlenkamp with 131. Their leading server is Ellis with 25 service aces, and she's one of 4 Fighting Scots that have double figures in service aces on the year. The team leader in digs, far and away the leader, Catherine Mozilla with 189 digs. She's the only Worcester Fighting Scot in in triple digits on the season. Taking a look at Baldwin Wallace leading the way in hitting with 120 kills on the season. It's Gabby Schlecht. She's one of 3 Yellow Jackets with triple digits in kills. Lila Nash with 109, and Lexi Smith right at the 100 mark, also leading the way for the Yellow Jackets. The set assists, far and away the leader for the Yellow Jackets. It's Katarina Blazetic, 426 set assists. The team as a whole, 510. The next leading setter, Paige Contreras. She's the defensive specialist. She has 42 set assists on the year. Leader in service aces is Katrina Kastner with 23. And the leader in digs with 227 is Paige Contreras. The teams have completed their warm-ups. They're in their final huddles before taking the floor for the national anthem and the introduction of the starting lineups. And this will be a nice opportunity for Baldwin Wallace as they are home after back-to-back weekends on the road at Wittenberg and at Buffalo State. They won their first matches in each of those 2 road trips, but then came up empty in the latter stages of those weekends, having dropped their last 2 in each one. Worcester coming in on a 4-match losing streak. Their last win was a straight sets victory over Pitt Greensburg on September 12th. They took that match 25-12, 25-16, 25-17. But they've been shut out in 3 of their last 4 matches. The lone set that they won was in a 3-1 loss against Westminster on September 13th. Baldwin Wallace did come up on the short end against Penn State Barron, but that was a 5-set match that they did lead 2-1, and they were unable to close out the match over the 4th and 5th sets. So they're a little bit hungry to get back into the win column, as are the Fighting Scots, having lost 4 straight. But opportunity for both teams to put one in the win column today before they finish up the non-conference portions of the schedule and then get in to the teeth of conference play. Worcester out of the North Coast Athletic Conference, and Baldwin Wallace, one of the charter members of the Ohio Athletic Conference. We're going to step aside for a break. For a moment of silence, this is the Morgan's Message game for Baldwin Wallace. We want to acknowledge all those athletes who have dealt with or are currently dealing with mental health issues. Right now, we're going to step aside for the playing of the national anthem. Taking a look at the starting lineups first for the visiting College of Wooster Fighting Scots. At defensive specialist, a 5'4 sophomore from Oberlin, Ohio, and Elyria Catholic High School, number 2, Catherine Mozilla. At outside hitter, a 5'7 junior from Lakewood, Colorado, in DeEvelyn High School, number 7, Jordan Laraway. The setter is a 6'1 first-year student from Fort Recovery, Ohio, number 8, Kennedy Muhlenkamp. The outside hitter is a 5'10 sophomore from Boardman, Ohio, number 9, Mary Catherine Worth. The middle blocker is a 5'10 first-year student athlete from Richmond Heights, Ohio, and Cornerstone Christian, number 11, Tamara Talbert. The outside hitter is a 5'7 senior from Huron, Ohio, number 15 is Ikozi. And the middle blocker / right side hitter is a 6' junior from Napoleon, Ohio, number 21, Cora Burrell. The head coach of the Fighting Scots, Sarah Davis. She's assisted by Hallie Taylor, and volunteer assistant coaches Lydia Spidell, David Yoder, and Tessa Hammond. Starting it off for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets at middle hitter, a 6' first-year student from Cleveland, Ohio, and St. Joseph Academy, number 3, Grace Kane. At center, a 5'7 senior from DeLand, Florida, number 6, Katarina Blazetic. At outside hitter, a 5'11 senior from Naperville, Illinois, and North High School, number 7, Gabby Schlecht. At right side hitter, a 5'10 junior from Tiffin Columbian High School, number 10, Lexi Smith. At outside hitter, a 5'9 sophomore from Berkey, Ohio, and Evergreen High School, number 15, Lila Nash. The defensive specialist is a 5'4 senior from Pemberville Eastwood High School, number 23, Paige Contrast. And the middle hitter is a 5'11 junior from Ashland, Ohio, number 24, Alyssa Zahner. The Yellow Jackets are coached by Kate Latkovic in her second season running the program. She is assisted by Anthony Winter, T.R. Harker, and Sophie Chacon, as well as graduate assistant Molly Harrison. The Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets will be in white with Baldwin Wallace written across the front in brown, trimmed in gold. The numbers on the front and backs in gold, trimmed in brown. The Yellow Jacket Athletic logo on the back nameplate, and brown and gold stripes on the sleeves of the jersey, the libero. Page contrast will be in brown with white numerals and lettering in gold trim, and the BW Athletics logo on the nameplate. The College of Wooster in the all-black look with white numerals and white lettering across the front and back of the jerseys, trimmed in old gold with the Wooster W logo on the back nameplate, and Scots written on the sides of the jerseys. The libero, Catherine Mozilla, will be in a white uniform with black numbers and lettering trimmed in gold, and the Wooster Fighting Scots athletic logo on the back nameplate of the jersey. The Fighting Scots will hit left to right here in the first set. The Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets will hit right to left. The officials going through their final lineup checks. Worcester's already subbed in their defensive specialist. Now the Yellow Jackets will do the same. Kane will take a seat for Baldwin Wallace, and Contras will come on the floor. Ball has been tossed on to the court to Katarina Blazetic, and she will get things started for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. She's fourth on the team with 12 service aces coming into the match, and she will start things off. She'll draw back her right hand and float it over. It's played tight to the net. Set up for a middle tip over. Blazetic with the set. Big left-handed swing, and it's down for the kill for Lexi Smith. That'll keep Blazetic on serve, and the Yellow Jackets in front, 1-0. Blazetic's jumping right-hander, played up, and it'll be sent over on a third hit from the back row. Contrast to Blazetic, middle hit, played up by the Scots. It's left side attack that's blocked at the net by the Yellow Jackets. Now right side attack through a block. It's down for a point. That's Worth on the kill for Wooster. Going on serve for the Fighting Scots, Jordan Laraway. 4 service aces on the year. It's received by Contras. Up to Blazetic, over to Smith on the right side. She punches it back row, and the Scots are going to get 1 hit on it, but they won't get a second. It's deflected out. Off of Wooster, point and serve over to Baldwin Wallace. Katrina Kastner, the 5'3" freshman defensive specialist from Oregonia and William Mason High School, has checked in, and she will go on serve. 23 serve aces on the year. That leads the Yellow Jackets by 9. And it's played up to Muhlenkamp. Middle hit blocked at the net, backed up by the Scots. Played over to the left-hand attack, through a block on a dive. Schlecht keeps it alive to Blazetic, to Smith. And it's kept alive by Muhlenkamp. Over to Mozilla. It's tipped over on the third. Blazetic hits it up and then sends it over on a free on the third hit. Muhlenkamp with the set, right side attack, through a block. And the Yellow Jackets send it underneath the net. It's a point and serve over to the Fighting Scots. That was Mary Catherine Worth on the kill. Cora Burrell will drop back and go on serve for the Fighting Scots. 2 serve aces on the year. And it's received by Contras to Kastner. Hit over by Schlecht. Dug out by the Scots. Muhlenkamp with a quick set. Worth punches it over. Smith to Blazetic. Middle hit into the net by Zahner. And it's down for a Fighting Scot point. And they now have their first lead at 3-2 here in the first set. And that's a service error for Burrell. And we're back to even, and the Yellow Jackets go on serve. Zahner will check out. Kane will come back for the Yellow Jackets. Contras will go on serve. And that's going to get down for an ace off of the first hit. And it took a funny carom off the left arm of Natalie Homan, who was into the match for the first time today. And the Delaware, Ohio native elevated it, but it went backwards, and the Scots couldn't get a second hit on it. This time, Contras' serve is played over to Mary Catherine Worth, dug out by Blazetic, to Paige Contras, over to Smith on the right side, and Worth got a first hit on it. Off her back foot, it'll be sent over by Cozy, and Schlecht with a big swing from the left side. It's dug out by Mozilla, and it's punched out of play by the Fighting Scots. Point to the Yellow Jackets. Paige Contras will stay on serve. It's received by Holman. Up to Muhlenkamp, tight to the net. Talbert will got it over, but it's blocked back, and all the Scots were too close to the net and couldn't get back in time. It's a point for Baldwin Wallace. Paige Contras will stay on serve. She floats it over. Played up to Muhlenkamp. Will be sent over and down on the back line by Cozy for the point. Checking in and going on serve is first-year setter Erin Ellis. She's a former Vermilion Sailor. Tosses it up, hits it over. Kastner to Blazetic. Middle hit, through a block, and it's down for the kill from Grace Kane. Yellow Jackets in front, 7-4 over the Fighting Scots. And checking in is number 29, Morgan Kaler, a 5'2" freshman defensive specialist from Galloway, and Hilliard Bradley. She floats it over. It's played by Muhlenkamp, and it'll be a right side hit, blocked, but kept alive on a dive by Mozilla. And it's punched back row. Kastner up to Blazetic. Right side attack for Kane. And an infraction is called against the Fighting Scots. Point over to the Yellow Jackets. Kaler with the serve. There's a short one on a dive. It's kept alive by the Scots. Big swing from the outside by Kazi, and she puts it down. for the Wooster Fighting Scots kill. Checking in is Jordan Laraway, and she will go back up front as Kazi will drop back to serve. Contras receives it over to Kaler. Now to Schlecht on the left side. Kept alive. And sent over to Laraway, and she hits it out of play. Just elevated it a little bit too much. She hit it on her descent from her approach to the net. It didn't get enough on it straight down motion and elevated it over the line. Gabby Schlecht will go on serve as Lila Nash returns up front for Baldwin Wallace. She puts it back corner. It's hit backward by Kazi, but kept alive and sent over by the Scots. Blazetic sets it for Nash. It's blocked, but Kaler backs it up. Now it's over to Grace Kane on the right side, shooting with the soft approach and placed it over the block for the point. The Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets enjoy a 10-5 lead here in the first set. And Gabby Schlecht will stay on serve. It's played tight to the net. Tipped over by Talbert on a dive. It's kept alive for 2 hits, but not a third. Point and serve over to the Fighting Scots. Burrell comes back up front as Mozilla will be on serve. Kaler to Blazetic. Over to Kane on the right side. Through a block. It's backed up by Muhlenkamp. And set up for Laraway, and she hit it into the net for a Yellow Jacket point. Zahner comes back to replace Paige Contras. The Yellow Jackets up 11-6. Grace Kane goes on serve. It's received by Kazi. Set up for a tip by Muhlenkamp, and the Yellow Jackets hit it out of play. So point for the Fighting Scots. Muhlenkamp will go on serve. On the year, 13 serve aces, good for third on the Fighting Scots. 7 service errors. Schlecht plays it up to Blazetic. She'll quick tip it over. Mozilla to Muhlenkamp. Right side attack for Worth. It's blocked, but kept alive by Mozilla. And Laraway hits it into a block. Again, Mozilla there for the help. Worth hits it through a block. It's out of bounds off of the Yellow Jackets. Point to the Fighting Scots. They cut the deficit down to 3. It's 11-8. Baldwin Wallace leads it here in the first. Muhlenkamp floats it over on a dive. Schlecht sends it up to Blazetic. It's punched over by Nash on a dive. Muhlenkamp can't elevate it enough. And it's down for the Yellow Jacket point. Now put Katarina Blazetic back on serve. Received by Kazi, up to Muhlenkamp, over to Worth on the left side, dug out by Contras, up to Blazetic, middle hit for Zahner, played up by Muhlenkamp to Mozilla, and it's tight and hit out of bounds by the Fighting Scots. Point to the Yellow Jackets. The Scots got crossed up there and kind of got into no woman's land, if you will, as the ball was hit basically into the net, and they had to try and elevate it up and over on the third and couldn't do it. Blazetic with a power serve, played up to Muhlenkamp, over to Worth on the left side. Blazetic to Contras, over to Nash on the left side, and it's hit right back over on the first hit on the dig. Now it's over to Smith. She'll keep it alive. It's set up for Blazetic, and now Smith puts it down that near sideline, and it's deflected out by Kazi for the Yellow Jacket point. 14-8, Baldwin Wallace leads Wooster here in the first set. Blazetic's next serve is short on a dive. It's kept alive by Laraway. Then punched over on a free by Kazi, and she hits it wide of the sideline. timeout on the floor by the Wooster Fighting Scots. We're going to take it with them. And on the other side of this break, we'll have more first set action for you between Baldwin Wallace and the College of Wooster right here on Flow College. Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's NCAA Division III women's volleyball on tap this evening as the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets play host to the College of Wooster Fighting Scots. Midway through the first set, Baldwin Wallace leads at 15-8, and Baldwin Wallace is on serve, and Katarina Blazetic knows how to come out of a timeout as she gets a service ace on the first hit out of the break. That'll put the Yellow Jackets in front by 8. And Blazetic stays on serve. She punches it into the backcourt, and it's down off of Kazi for another serve ace for Baldwin Wallace's senior from DeLand, Florida. Next serve is floated over. It's played up to Muhlenkamp. Outside attack for Laraway, and that's down for a Fighting Scots point. Laraway on the outside, hit on the right side. Buried it for the kill. His serve from Laraway is into the net. It's down for a service error, and it will be point and serve over to the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Katrina Kastner will check in for Lila Nash, and she'll go back on serve. Kastner punches it over. Kazi up to Muhlenkamp. Middle hit for Burl. Sent right back over by the Yellow Jackets. Now it's played on a free by Worth, and it's into the net for another Yellow Jacket point. Baldwin Wallace leads Wooster 19-9 here in the first set. Kastner stays on serve. Kazi has it Karam high off of her shoulders, but it's sent over on a third on a dive. Blazetic keeps it alive over to Lexi Smith on the right side. Mozilla to Muhlenkamp to Worth on the right side. Contras on the dig to Blazetic over to Schlecht. Kept alive and sent nearly over by the Fighting Scots. And through a block, it's down for the point for Kazi. The former Huron Tiger puts it down for the point. The substitution for the Fighting Scots is number 22, Addie Gardner, a 5'7" sophomore defensive specialist from Willoughby Hills, Ohio, and Hawken comes on to serve. It's played up to Blazetic, over to Smith, and she puts it down for the Yellow Jacket kill. Baldwin Wallace up 20-10 here in the first set. Paige Contras will drop back to serve for Baldwin Wallace. Played by Kazi, up to Muhlenkamp, over to Worth on the right side. Blazetic hits it backwards. Kastner tracks it down. It's sent over on a free by Schlecht. Played up to Muhlenkamp and over the net on the second hit. And a point's going to be awarded to Baldwin Wallace for an illegal touch as the ball was crossed the net when Wooster made contact. Paige Contras stays on serve. Kazi to Muhlenkamp, back to Kazi, middle hit, and it's out of play off of the Fighting Scots. Point to the Yellow Jackets. Timeout on the floor. It's taken by the College of Wooster. We're going to step aside with the teams and take a break. When we come back, more first set action for you between Baldwin Wallace and the College of Wooster right here on Flow College. Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's Baldwin Wallace versus Wooster in women's volleyball action, and Baldwin Wallace is up 22-10 here in the first set. Contras' serve received by Kazi, and then the Scots try to play it over. It's blocked down off of Wooster for the Baldwin Wallace point. Kazi will sub out, and coming on is number 1, Adeline Zinger. She's a 5'4", first-year outside hitter from Yellow Springs, Ohio. Paige Contras stays on serve. Sends it over. It's played by Zinger. Back to her on the third hit. Kastner digs it out to Blazetic, over to Schlecht on the left side. She punches it over. It's played back on the by the Scots on the first hit. And then the Scots are called for an infraction. So the Yellow Jackets will be on set point, and it will be Paige Contras who will do the honors. It's played up to Muhlenkamp. Over to Zinger. Through a block. It's down for a Fighting Scots point. Ellis comes back to serve. Kastner to Contras, over to Schlecht on the left side. She punches it over. It's dug out on the first hit, but miscommunication as the Scots back away from the ball, and it falls to the court for set point. Baldwin Wallace takes the first set 25-11. The teams will switch ends and take a break before the second set. We're going to take it with them. And we'll be back with second set action for you between the College of Wooster Fighting Scots and Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets right here on Flow College. Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's NCAA Division III women's volleyball action on tap this evening as the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets play host to the College of Wooster Fighting Scots in this non-conference matchup. Taking a look at the first set, which Baldwin Wallace won 25-11, leading the way in kills with 4 each, Grace Kane and Lexi Smith, and it was 1 kill each for Gabby Schlecht. And Lila Nash, 8 of the 9 set assists went to Katarina Blazetic, and Blazetic had 2 of the Yellow Jackets' 3 serve aces. Paige Contras had the other set and the other serve ace. Leading the way in digs with 5, it was Paige Contras, 4 for Blazetic, 3 for Katrina Kastner, and 1 for Lila Nash. 1 solo block belonged to Lexi Smith, and the block assists went to Grace Kane and Gabby Schlecht. Baldwin Wallace as a team hit 10 kills with only 2 errors and 26 total attacks, a .308 hit percentage. Leading the way for the Scots with 3 kills, Izzy Kanzi, 2 for Mary Catherine Worth, 1 each for Adeline Zinger, Jordan Laraway, Kennedy Muhlenkamp, and Tamara Talbert. Leading the way with 6 set assists, it was Kennedy Muhlenkamp. No serve aces for Wooster. He had 2 serve errors, and then leading the way in digs with 4, Kennedy Muhlenkamp. As a team, Wooster had 9 kills, 9 errors in 36 total attacks, hitting at a .000 percentage. Baldwin Wallace will hit left to right here in the second set. Wooster will hit right to left on the floor for Baldwin Wallace. It's Contras, Schlecht, Smith, Zahner, Blazetic, and Nash on the floor for the Fighting Scots. It will be Talbert, Muhlenkamp, Worth, Burl, Kazi, and Mozilla will check in for Talbert. And we'll have a substitution as Natalie Holman will come in and replace Jordan Laraway. And Wooster will go on serve, and it will be Muhlenkamp who will do the honors. Jumping right-handed serve on a dive. It's kept alive by Smith. It's sent over on a third hit by Lila Nash. She goes far sideline and puts it down for the Yellow Jacket kill. Katarina Blazetic on serve. She'll punch it over. It's played by Kazi. Up to Muhlenkamp, and the Scots hit the third hit into the net for a Baldwin Wallace point. Baldwin Wallace with a quick 2-0 lead here in the second set. It's best of 5. Baldwin Wallace leads it 1-0. Blazetic serves it over. It's played up by Kazi. Then she'll hit it through a block, and the Yellow Jackets will send it out of bounds for a Wooster point. So Kazi will go on serve as Laraway comes back. And that's going to be an ace as Contras can't keep it in bounds, and it goes into the Yellow Jacket bench. Izzy Kazi with her 13th serve ace of the year, pulling her into a third-place tie. And as I say that, she hits it into the net for a Yellow Jacket point. Katrina Kastner comes on for Baldwin Wallace, and she'll go on serve. She fires it over. It's played by Laraway up to Muhlenkamp, over to Worth. And Worth belts it out of bounds for a Yellow Jacket point. Kastner's next serve, played by Laraway, out of bounds. That's a serve ace. Kazi on the reception, up to Muhlenkamp. It's played over on a free by Laraway. Kastner to Blazetic, over to Smith on the right side. Dug out by Kazi. Played up to Muhlenkamp. Through a block by Worth, backed up by Smith. Over to Blazetic, now to Schlecht on the left side, and Kazi on a hustle play, going to keep it alive. It's sent over on a free. Kastner to Blazetic. Middle hit for Zahner, and she elevated it a little bit too much and sent it over the sideline for a Wooster point. Catherine Mazzilla comes in. Will go on serve for Wooster. Floats it over. Contras up to Blazetic. Middle hit. Punched over by Smith. On a second hit, it's played over by Muhlenkamp, but the Yellow Jackets dig it out. Then Schlecht will send it just a little bit too long for the baseline. It's a point for the Scots. And Mazzilla will stay on serve. Kastner on the reception, up to Blazetic, right side attack for Smith, and on a reflex, Mazzilla keeps it alive. It's sent over on a free. Kastner to Blazetic, middle attack for Schlecht, and it's deflected out by the Scots. Point to the Yellow Jackets. Paige Contras on serve for Baldwin Wallace. It's played up by Kazi, sent over by Worth, and the Yellow Jackets can't get to it, which is actually a good thing because Worth hit it just a little bit long, and it's another point for Baldwin Wallace. That's going to be an ace for Paige Contras as it caroms to the wall off of the arms of Muhlenkamp. Contras with the serve, floats it over. It's short and it's played right back over to the Yellow Jackets, and Lexi Smith puts it down on a tip for the point. Timeout on the floor by the Fighting Scots. Baldwin Wallace leads it 9-4 heading into the break. We're going to step aside with them when we come back. More second set action between the Worcester Fighting Scots and Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets right here on Flow College. Hello, everyone, and welcome back into the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's women's volleyball action on the court tonight as the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace host the Fighting Scots of the College of Wooster. Paige Contras' serve returned by the Fighting Scots, and now Lexi Smith will put it down for the Yellow Jacket kill. VW leads it 10-4 here in the second set, and they're up 1-0. Contras' next serve, played up by Kazi. It tipped over on a dive. Blazetta keeps it alive. Over to Contras. Now to Smith. Kazi on the dig. Gets sent up to Talbert. Punched up in the air by Blazetta and sent over to Schlecht on a roll shot. It gets down in front of a diving Mozilla, and it's down for the point. Timeout on the floor by the Fighting Scots. That's their second and final timeout of the second set. We'll take it with them. On the other side of this break, more second set action for you right here on Flow College. No, because everybody wants to go watch the Guardians game, and they just got out of a bases-loaded jam in the fourth. No, I'm just saying, are we getting out of here in third? No chance, because she's going to make us watch the fourth. No pizza for you now. You know what? That's fine. I just don't pay for it. It's good. No, you won't. Unless I tell you then you're going to do it. You never met anybody as hard as me when it came to giving away free food. Hello, everyone, and a welcome back into the Ursprung Gymnasium. It's NCAA Division III volleyball on tap between Baldwin Wallace and the College of Wooster. And Paige Contras out of the second Wooster timeout of the second set. Hits it into the net for a Wooster point. And the Fighting Scots will go on serve. And it'll be Erin Ellis who is on serve. She checked in a few points ago to serve as the setter. And it's received by Kastner. And it's sent over by Smith, but is blocked back by the Scots. And this time, Lexi Smith is not to be denied as she punctuates the point with a left-handed swing for the kill. Out of the timeout, it was Smith, Kane, Schlecht, Blazetta, Contras, and Kastner on the floor. Now Smith will check out for the Yellow Jackets, and Morgan Kaler will come back on. Talbert, Mozilla, Kazi, Laraway, who hits it over and gets it sent right back by the Yellow Jackets, and it's blocked down by Grace Kane for the point. So Kazi, Mozilla, Laraway, Ellis, Talbert, and Muhlenkamp on the floor for the Fighting Scots. Kaler will stay on serve. She'll float it off the top of the net. It's down for an ace in front of a diving Laraway. Yellow Jackets rolling in the second set. They're up 14-5, and another substitution coming in for the Scots. It'll be number 16, Arlen Oswick, a 5'7", first-year outside hitter from Chesterland, Ohio, and West Geauga High School. Kaler's next serve, played up by Oswick. Over to Ellis, back to Oswick. Kaler to Blazetic. Over to Schlecht on the left side, and it's just wide of the baseline for a Wooster point. Natalie Homan will check in for the Fighting Scots. She's a native of Delaware, Ohio, and graduate of Rutherford B. Hayes High School. Homan will go on serve. Contras up to Blazetic. Over to Kane. Through a block. It's down for a Yellow Jacket point. Lila Nash will come back on for the Yellow Jackets. Katrina Kastner will take a seat. Gabby Schlecht on serve. Kazi plays it all the way over. It's tipped down off a deflection. Out of play off of the Scots. It's a Katarina Blazetta kill for Baldwin Wallace. Now checking into the match for the first time today, number 13, Caitlin Walsh-Knuff. She's a 5'7" outside hitter, first year out of Smithville, Ohio. Right up the road from the College of Wooster's campus in Wayne County. Kazi on the hit, sends it into a block, then Wooster puts it back row where Schlecht is there. to Blazetic, back to Schlecht, into a block that's kept alive by Contras, but the Yellow Jackets go away from the ball, and they don't get a second hit on it, so it's a point for the Fighting Scots. Gabby Schlecht will check out for Baldwin Wallace, and checking in, number 2, Jamie Snell, 5'4" senior defensive specialist from just down the road in Strongsville, Ohio. Addie Gardner returns for Wooster, sends it over on a serve, and it's played up, but out by Snell on the reception. So call it an ace for Gardner, and that cuts the deficit down to 8 for the Scots. Baldwin Wallace leads it 16-8. Taylor on the reception, over to Contras. Now to Lila Nash on the left side, through a block, it's down for the Yellow Jacket point. Gardner will check out. Mozilla will check back in as Zahner takes a seat. Kane will be on serve, and up front for the Yellow Jackets, seeing her first action today, number 20, Julia Gardner, a 5'11" freshman middle hitter from Columbus and Hilliard-Davidson High School. The serve from Kane is over and knocked out of bounds before Wooster can send it over, so that goes in the books as an ace. And Kane will stay on serve with the Yellow Jackets up by 10. Kane's next serve, played up by Homan, over to Muhlenkamp, and through a block. It's down for a Worcester. Well, actually, technically the Yellow Jackets kept it alive, but an infraction called on Baldwin Wallace gives the point over to the Fighting Scots. And coming on for Lila Nash is number 12, Ella Rogers. She's a 5'9" senior outside hitter from Painesville, Ohio, and Mentor High School. Former Cardinal, seeing her first action today. Muhlenkamp on serve. It's received by Snell. Sent over to Rogers, into a block. Backed up by Snell, over to Rogers. Into a block, it's down for the Yellow Jacket point. Jamie Snell picks up the set assist on the Rogers kill. And Lexi Smith will come back up front as Katarina Blazetta goes on serve. And that's going to be an ace as the hit caroms into the scorer's table, and the Scots can't get a second hit off of the reception. So Blazetic will stay on serve with BW looking to build on an 11-point lead. Blazetic's next serve is just a little bit long. Point and serve over to the Fighting Scots. When we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that tonight's Yellow Jacket women's volleyball match is being brought to you by University Hospital's Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company, and BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for the Yellow Jackets. You're enjoying today's game on Flow College. The Yellow Jackets had an open look at some space in the back court, but sent it a little bit too long off of the Fighting Scots serve, and it's down for the Wooster point. Kazi stays on serve. Snell on the reception, up to Blazetic. Right side attack for Rogers. She plays it over. Set up to Muhlenkamp. Outside attack for Laraway over the block. Blazetic there. Over to Contras. Now to Rogers on the left side, and she smokes it off of the right arm of a diving Catherine Mazzilla, and it's out of play for the Yellow Jacket kill. Rogers getting subbed out and subsequently congratulated by all of her teammates for that big swing as Kastner comes on to serve. And Schlecht is back up front with Lexi Smith. Mazzilla tries to keep it alive on the reception, but it's down before a second hit for a Baldwin Wallace service ace. BW now doubling up the Scots, 22-11 here in the second set as Oswick comes back on. Former West Jog, a Wolverine. In the left back spot. Kastner's next serve off the top of the net on a dive. Kazi keeps it alive. It'll be sent into a block and down for a Yellow Jacket point by the Worcester Scots. So it was Burl trying to elevate it, but hit it into a block, and the Yellow Jackets kept it on Worcester's side of the net. Kastner stays on serve for Baldwin Wallace. Kazi on the reception, up to Muhlenkamp. It's hit over on a free. Schlecht to Blazetic. Back to Schlecht on the left side. Kazi on the dig. Up to Muhlenkamp. Over to Oswick. Off the top of a block. Contras keeps it alive. Blazetic sends it over to Kastner on a free. It's played over. Kazi to Muhlenkamp. Right side attack into a block. It's down for a Yellow Jacket point. And that'll put the Yellow Jackets on set point with Kastner serving it up. Mazzilla on the reception, up to Muhlenkamp. It's punched over by Mazzilla. Kastner to Blazetic to Garland off the top of a block. It's down for the Yellow Jacket set point. And just like the first, Baldwin Wallace takes the second set 25-11 to take a 2-0 lead in this best of 5 matchup with the College of Wooster Fighting Scots. The teams will switch ends. We'll take the break with them. And on the other side, we'll have third set action for you between Baldwin Wallace and the College of Wooster right here on Flow College.
That would be the Cleveland way.
Yeah. They limited Detroit to one run, but you can't, they got one damn hit. Thanks, dude. Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's NCAA Division III women's volleyball action on the court tonight as Baldwin Wallace University plays host to the College of Wooster. And after 2 sets, Baldwin Wallace leads it 2-0. They took the first and second sets by matching 25-11 scores. Leading the way in kills for Baldwin Wallace through 2 sets, Lexi Smith with 7, Grace Kane with 5, Lila Nash with 3, Gabby Schlecht with 3, and then 2 each for Ella Rogers and Katarina Blazetic. Blazetic leads the way with 13 set assists. It's 4 for Paige Contras and 1 each for Schlecht and Jamie Snell. 5 different Yellow Jackets have recorded a service ace, 3 for Blazetic, 2 each for Kastner and Contras, 1 each for Kane and Morgan Kaler. Leading the way in digs with 8, Paige Contras, and Blazetic has 7. 3 Yellow Jackets with solo blocks. It's Schlecht, Smith, and Garland, and then a block assist each to Kane and Schlecht. Leading the way for the Fighting Scots with 4 kills, Izzy Kazi, and it's 2 for Mary Catherine Worth, 1 each for Adeline Zinger, Jordan Larway, Kennedy Muhlenkamp, Tamara Talbert, and Cora Burrell. 7 set assists for Muhlenkamp, 3 for Aaron Ellis, and 1 for Mazzilla. 2 serve aces. Kazi has 1, and Addie Gardner has the other. Leading the way in digs with 7 each. It's Kennedy Muhlenkamp and Izzy Kazi. 3 for Mazzilla, 2 for Worth, and 1 each for Walsh, Knuff, and Natalie Homan. And Worcester has yet to register a block in this match. Worcester with 11 kills, 14 errors, in 55 total attacks. They're hitting at a negative .055 percentage. Baldwin Wallace, 22 kills, 6 errors, 54 total attacks, a .296 hit percentage. Baldwin Wallace will hit it right to left here in the third set. Wooster will hit it left to right. Talbert, Muhlenkamp, Kazi, Muzilla, Ellis, and Homan on the floor for the Scots. Blazetic is on serve for Baldwin Wallace. She's on the floor with Schlecht, Contras, Smith, Rogers, and Garland. Talbert with a big swing, and Talbert with the kill for the Scots. And they take a 1-0 lead here in the third set. And it will be Homan who will be on serve for Wooster. Off the tape of the net, it's down on Wooster's side for a Baldwin Wallace point. We're even at 1, and Katrina Kastner will come in and go on serve for Baldwin Wallace. Mazzella on the reception. Played up to Ellis, hit over by Muhlenkamp. Contras to Blazetic, over to Lexi Smith. She punches it back row. Homan to Ellis, to Kazi, off the top of a block. Contras to Blazetic, quick hit for Garland, and it's deflected out by the Scots. It's a point for the Yellow Jackets. Kastner on serve still for Baldwin Wallace. She'll chop at it 3 times. Dribble it out with both hands 10 times, make it another 7 for good measure. And she'll tee up the serve. Play it tight to the net. Kazi to Ellis, back to Kazi. It's played over. Blazetic over to Smith. Smith into a block. It's backed up by Contras. Dug out by Smith. Sent over on a free by Blazetic. Talbert to Ellis. Right side attack for Muhlenkamp. On a dive, it's kept alive by Contras. And on a third hit, it will not be sent over by Baldwin Wallace. And near a major collision there as Schlecht and Kastner avoided catastrophe, nearly colliding in front of the Yellow Jacket bench. It's a Wooster point, and now a Wooster serve. Catherine Uzilla will serve it up and over. Contras up to Blazetic, over to Schlecht on the left side. She'll punch it over. Kazi to Ellis, middle attack. It's down for the Wooster point. Off of the hit from Cora Burrell. Uzilla will stay on serve. Contras up to Blazetic, over to Smith. She'll roll shot it over, and it's down for the Baldwin Wallace point. Well, we have this opportunity. Want to remind you that tonight's Yellow Jacket women's volleyball match is being brought to you by City Barbecue, serving and creating happiness since 1999. The Oswald Company, risk and insurance leader since 1893. And Papa John's in Berea, the official pizza provider of Baldwin Wallace. You're enjoying tonight's match right here on Flow College. Kazi on the big swing. It's played up by Contras, over to Blazetic, then into a block. Lexi Smith hits it, but it's settled back down by the Yellow Jackets, and Grace Kane will hit it over for the Yellow Jacket kill. Contras' serve, tight to the tape, but over. Kazi gets it back off of a set. Contras hits it up to Blazetic, over to Schlecht on the left side, and she puts it back corner. It's down for a Yellow Jacket point. Didn't matter anyway because Wooster committed an infraction. Point for Baldwin Wallace. The Yellow Jackets lead at 5-3 here in the third. Contras' next serve floats over. Played by Homan up to Ellis. Right side attack for Muhlenkamp, and it's down for the kill off of a couple of deflections from Baldwin Wallace. Kennedy Muhlenkamp on serve for the Fighting Scots. She floats it over. Schlecht to Blazetic, over to Kane. Muhlenkamp dug it out, and it's sent over to Kazi. She'll punch it back row. Kastner on the deflection, sent over on a free by Smith. Muhlenkamp with a set, middle attack, dug out by Kastner. Up to Blazetic, over to Schlecht on the left side, dug out by Muzilla. Hit over by Muhlenkamp to Kazi, and then she'll send it over the net, and it's out of play off of the Fighting Scots. Point for the Yellow Jackets. Morgan Kaler will check in for Lexi Smith and go on serve. Kaler punches it over, and it's played right over on the reception by Kazi. Blazetic with a set, Kane off the top of a block. It's going to be sent over and down off a deflection by Ellis for the Yellow Jacket point. Izzy Kazi on serve for Wooster. The Fighting Scots trail at 6-5 here in the third set. Contras up to Blazetic, over to Schlecht, and she buries the kill near side back corner for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Ella Rogers and Jamie Snell will check in for Gabby Schlecht and Katrina Kastner respectively, and Jamie Snell will go on serve. Snell punches it off the top of the net and over. Kazi to Muhlenkamp. Over to Laraway. It's blocked out of bounds by the Yellow Jackets. Point to the Fighting Scots. Substitution for the Scots. Burrell will check out. Gardner will check in. Gardner punches it over. Snell. Blazetic to Kane. Off the top of a block and over. Kazi to Muhlenkamp. Over to Ellis off the top of a block. And that's down out of bounds for a Fighting Scots point, and we're even at 7 here in the third set. Gardner's next serve, played up by Snell. Blazetic hustles after it. Set over to Ella Rogers on a roll shot. She'll send it over. Kazi to Muhlenkamp, over to Laraway. And it's going to be Snell who hits it out of play and out of the reach of Paige Contras for a Worcester Fighting Scots point. So Gardner stays on serve. She'll punch it over. It's short. Snell on a hustle play gets it up to Blazetic. Over to Rogers. And it's dug out by the Scots. Gardner plays it up. And it's sent over on a free by Ellis. Kaler to Blazetic on a quick tip off the tape. It's played up by the Scots. Laraway over a block. It's down for a Worcester Scots point. Gardner's next serve is an ace, said the line judge, but the stand umpire overruled and said, nope, that was on the other side of the line, so that's a Yellow Jacket point. And Grace Kane will serve next for Baldwin Wallace, and she'll punch it out for a Worcester Fighting Scots point. Ellis will drop back to serve for Worcester. Contras back on for the Yellow Jackets. Contras receives it up to Blazetic. Over to Julia Garland, and she sends it out of play for a Worcester Scots point. Timeout on the floor by the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. We're going to take it with them on the other side of the break. More third set action between Baldwin Wallace and the College of Wooster right here on Flow College. You know this is going at least 4 because I didn't eat anything before I came here. Yep. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. Out of the timeout, the Fighting Scots, Aaron Ellis, sends the serve long. So Baldwin Wallace will take over serve, down 2-11-9. Blazedic sends her serve over. It's played up and down for the kill by Jordan Laraway. Baldwin Wallace now trails Wooster. 12-9 here in the third set. Laraway drops back and goes on serve for Wooster. It's a jumping right-handed floater. Played up by Contras to Blazedic. Quick hit at the net by Garland. Blocked back by the Scots. Blazedic sets it up for Smith on the right side. It's blocked again by Wooster. Blazedic with a set. Over to Smith. She punches it back corner. Kept alive by Musilla. Elevated by Laraway. Sent over on a free by Ellis. Snell to Blazedic. Middle attack for Smith. She goes back corner and puts it on the line for the Yellow Jacket kill. Those are the first two blocks officially of the night for the Fighting Scots. And the Yellow Jackets played through both of them. Lila Nash will come back on, as will Katrina Kastner. Nash goes up to the net. Kastner drops back to serve. Played up by Kazi to Ellis. Back to Kazi on the left side. Down for the Wooster kill. That's a beautifully executed play right there by the Fighting Scots. Good serve reception. Play it up to your setter. Make a solid approach and then bury the kill. Musilla will be on serve for Wooster. They lead it by 3 here in the third. Kastner on the reception. Up to Blazedic. Over to Nash, and she puts it down for the Baldwin Wallace kill. Paige Contras will serve, I should say, for the Yellow Jackets. And she sends it long, point over to the Fighting Scots. They reinstall a 3-point lead. 14-11 here in the third set. Worcester leads it. They're down. The Scots are down, I should say, 2-0. They need to win here in the third to keep the match going. Short serve played by Kastner. Over to Smith. Over top of a block. It's hit into the net. Kept alive and sent over by Kazi. Kastner to Blazedic. Over to Kane, and she hits it into a block for a Fighting Scots point. Kennedy Muhlenkamp, the Fort Recovery, Ohio native, will be on serve. Serves played up and over, and then it's tipped down by Kazi for the Worcester point. Muhlenkamp stays on serve. Contras up to Blazedic. Over to Nash. She'll punch it over. It's played up by the Scots. Over to Kazi, and she buries the kill in front of Kastner. Worcester struggled to score over the first 2 sets, and they are rolling here in the third. The Fighting Scots are up 17-11 over the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. On the other side of the break, more third set action right here on Flow College. rapid deal kill a program faster than anything. Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's NCAA Division III women's volleyball action between the host Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets and visiting College of Wooster Fighting Scots, down 2 sets to none. The Fighting Scots are rolling here in the third, up 17-11. Baldwin Wallace on serve reception, and Lexi Smith comes up with a big kill out of the Baldwin Wallace timeout. And Smith will get subbed out for Morgan Kaler, who will be on serve. Also on the floor for the Yellow Jackets, it's Kastner, Contras, Blazetic, Kane, and Nash. And it's a service ace for Morgan Kaler as it falls in front of the Scots before it can be played up. On the floor for the Scots, Muhlenkamp, Muzilla, Kazi, Ellis, Burl, and Homan. Kazi on the reception, up to Muhlenkamp. Right side attack, and it's hit down on the sideline for a Wooster point. Checking in for the Fighting Scots, Jordan Laraway. And Izzy Kazi will be on serve for Wooster. Kaler receives it. It's on a dive, sent over by Nash, tipped down by the Scots. Kastner elevates, and Nash sends it out of play. Point for Wooster. They lead it. The Scots lead it 19-13 here in the third set, and Gabby Schlecht will be sent to the table to check in. She's had an extended break on the bench, so hopefully she's ready to go for Baldwin Wallace as Kazi hits it over. Contras up to Blazetic, over to Schlecht. It's down through a block for a Yellow Jacket point. Just what the doctor ordered out of an extended break for Schlecht, as Ella Rogers will come back on for Katrina Kastner, and Gabby Schlecht will go on serve. Schlecht's serve is down in front of Kazi for a Baldwin Wallace ace. First 2 points off of the break. Gabby Schlecht puts them down for a Yellow Jackets. Schlecht's jumping serve, played up by Kazi to Muhlenkamp, middle attack, blocked at the net by the Yellow Jackets, hit backward by the Scots. It would be played over on a free by Laraway. Kaler to Blazetic on a quick tip. It's on a dive, sent over by Muhlenkamp, then it's blocked at the net by the Fighting Scots, and it's down for a Wooster point. Wooster leads it 20-15 here in the third set. Talbert sent back on for the Scots, and sent in as well as Addie Gardner. And Gardner will go on serve as Burl and Muzilla will sub out for Wooster. Gardner's serve is going to be down for an ace. Kaler was backing up in retreat mode, and it hit off of her wrist area right by her thumb and carried him to the floor. Gardner's next serve, played by Kaler, straight into the air. Blazetic over to Rogers, back row. Kazi keeps it alive. It's sent over to Laraway, off her back foot. Kaler to Blazetic, back row attack for Schlecht. Dug out by Kazi, up to Muhlenkamp, punched over by Ellis. Contras to Blazetic, back row attack for Schlecht, off the top of the net. It's played over. Hustled after by Gardner, hit over on a free. Schlecht to Blazetic, over to Rogers, through a block, and it's down for the Yellow Jacket point. Grace Kane on serve, puts it into the back row for Kazi. Sent over by Ellis off the top of a block. Kane to Blazetic. Big swing at the net by Garland. Sent over, but dug out by Kazi. Then Laraway off the top of the net for the Scots. It's set over to Rogers off the top of a block. Muzilla Over to Ellis, blocked at the net by the Yellow Jackets. Tipped over by Talbert. Rogers to Blazetic, back to Rogers on the left side, tips it over. Sent back by Ellis on the first hit. Now Blazetic puts it back row. Kazi on a dive, keeps it alive. And it's sent over by Laraway. Kaler to Blazetic, over to Garland into a block. It's kept alive by Blazetic, sent over by Rogers. Muzilla over to Muhlenkamp, who sends it over. Blazetic with the set, over to Rogers, and she hits it out of play for the Wooster Fighting Scots point. Aaron Ellis will serve for Wooster. She sends it long, point to the Yellow Jackets. They still have some digging left to do as they're down 22-17. Kaler will check out. Lexi Smith comes back for Baldwin Wallace. It's floated over by Blazetic. Muzilla plays it up to Ellis. Over to Muhlenkamp. It's punched over. Blazetic with a set. Over to Smith on the right side. It's down for the Yellow Jacket kill. Katarina Blazetic will stay on serve for Baldwin Wallace. She draws back the right hand. The jumping right-hander off the tape, and it's going to be unreturned by the Scots. It's down for an ace off of the second hit. Timeout on the floor by the Wooster Fighting Scots. We'll take it with them on the other side of the break. More third set action between Wooster and Baldwin Wallace right here on Flow College.
That might be a first that I've ever seen on a bench. The girl that's not playing is eating an apple.
Yeah, number two's been snarfing a few bites here and there. D3 athletics, man. Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's NCAA Division III women's volleyball between Baldwin Wallace and the College of Wooster. Baldwin Wallace on serve. They trail it by the Yellow Jackets trail it by 3, 22-19 here in the third set, but they're up 2-0. The serve from Katarina Blazetic was played over on the first hit by Wooster. Now Baldwin Wallace sent it back over for Laraway to send it over. Now on a tip, it's played up by the Scots. Laraway with the second hit on a free. Muhlenkamp sends it over. Garland to Blazetic, over to Smith on the right side. Through a block, it's down for the Baldwin Wallace point. BW trims the deficit to 2. It's 22-20. On the floor for Baldwin Wallace, Smith, Garland, Rogers up front. Contras, Blazetic, and Schlecht. Blazetic serve is going to be down for an ace as Laraway had to carry him off of her hands and Kazi couldn't elevate it on a dive. On the floor with, we'll get to it after the other side of the break. The Fighting Scots take their second and final timeout of this third set. When we come back, more third set action for you between Baldwin Wallace and Wooster on Flow College. I don't care what it looks like, but when you've got a chance to finish somebody in 3, you finish them in 3. The more hope you give somebody, the more longer you have to work. Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's NCAA Division III volleyball between Baldwin Wallace and the visiting College of Wooster Fighting Scots. Baldwin Wallace on serve, down a point here in the third, 22-21. Blazetic with the serve. It's received by Laraway, up to Ellis, outside attack for Muhlenkamp. Dug out by Schleck. Up to Blazetic, over to Smith. She'll punch it over a block attempt, and it's down on the sideline for a Yellow Jacket point. We're even at 22. On the floor for the Scots, after a substitution, will be Oswick along with Talbert, Muhlenkamp, Kazi, Uzilla, and Ellis. The Yellow Jackets counter with Schlecht, Contra, Smith, Rogers, Garland, and Blazetic, who's on serve. It's played up by Oswick, over to Talbert. She'll punch it over the net on a free. Contras to Blazetic, over to Rogers on the left side, through a block. Backed up by Ellis, over to Muzilla, tied to the net, and it's going to be a 4-hit infraction against Worcester. Point over to Baldwin Wallace, and they have stormed back and taken a 23-22 lead here in the third, up 2-0 in this best-of-5 match. Blazetic's serve is down for the ace, and it's going to be a match point for Baldwin Wallace with Katarina Blazetic doing the honors. Before that serve, Jordan Laraway will be subbed back in for the Fighting Scots. Oswick will take a seat. Blazetic hits it over. It's played by Laraway. Over to Ellis, back to Laraway on the left side, off the top of the block. Contras to Blazetic, outside attack for Rogers, and it's down for match point. Baldwin Wallace storms back in the third to seal the match win for the evening. Before we get to the final stats, I want to remind you that tonight's Yellow Jacket women's volleyball match was brought to you by Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. After tonight's match, Baldwin Wallace will next be in action over the weekend. As for the third straight weekend, they will be on the road. They will be in the Summer Center Spectacular, hosted by Bluffton University. They'll be in action twice Friday night as they have back-to-back matches against Olivet at 5 and Adrian at 7. Both teams out of the Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association. And on Saturday, back-to-back matchups against Hanover and then against host Bluffton. But they snap a 2-match losing streak with the 3-set victory over Worcester today, and Worcester will next be in action over the weekend as well, as they will travel to Kenyon for the start of North Coast Athletic Conference play. That'll be at 12 p.m. first serve in Gambier, Ohio. Baldwin Wallace, or rather the College of Wooster, falls to 3-10 with the loss. They're now 0-2 on the road, are the Fighting Scots. Baldwin Wallace improves to 6-8 overall, and the Yellow Jackets now 3-2 on the home deck here at Ursprung Gymnasium. After the Spectacular out in Bluffton, the Yellow Jackets will be at Capitol on October 4th for a 1 p.m. match at the start of Ohio Athletic Conference play. And they'll be on the road again on Wednesday, October 8th to play at Ohio Northern in Ada. The next time the Yellow Jackets will be at home will be on Saturday, October 11th. It'll be a tri-match. They'll play Otterbein at 11, Albion at 1:30. Or rather, Albion will play Otterbein at 1:30, and then the Yellow Jackets will play Albion at 4 p.m. For everybody here at Baldwin Wallace, I'm Matt Florjancic. Thanks for watching as the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets get a straight sets victory, 25-11, 25-11, 25-22 over the College of Wooster Fighting Scots to improve to 6-8 overall on the year and 3-2 here on the home deck. Have a great night, everybody, and as always, go Jackets. We'll see you Saturday afternoon from Finney Stadium when the Baldwin Wallace University football team hosts the University of Mount Union in a key Ohio Athletic Conference matchup in Berea. Take care, everyone.